Hello maths fans, I'm back with my fellow mathematician and YouTuber James Grime, and we are here today in Oxford in the old library at St Edmund Hall, as I have invited James along to play a game.
Right, so what game are we going to be playing then?
There's a very big clue as to the name of the game at least.
Yeah, I can see the name of the game. So the name of the game of logic, which I assume logic in the mathematical sense.
Absolutely, it is a mathematical game from Charles Dodgson, aka Lewis Carroll. This is an original copy of the book, contains the rules, the game board, everything we should need to know about playing this game.
Okay, that's pretty cool. Okay.
And it's extremely valuable and extremely old, so we are not allowed to touch this. Fortunately, the librarian, Heather is here with us, and Heather is going to allow us to at least look at the rules and the board so we can figure out how to play it before we then give it a go. So, Heather, if you would like to...
Hello. Oh, there you are.
Hi.
There you are.
Oh, wow.
So, I would love to see inside.
Absolutely, yes. So if we open up this page here, then the first exciting thing actually is on the title page, and it's this lovely inscription from Charles Dodgson to H.P. Liddon, who was the vice principal of St Edmund Hall, and as it says here, affectionate friend of Charles Dodgson. So that's why we have this book and how it has ended up in our old library.
Affectionate regards.
And what's the date on this book here?
So I think it's 1873 with a rather elaborate...
That is a very elaborate 3, yeah.
Fancy 3, wow. He loves his 3s. He is a mathematician after all.
Exactly.
Amazing. And does that say £7 on the cover?
That's how much it would be sold for, I think.
Okay, wow. Well, I'll give you £7 if you want.
Yeah, we'd have to convert it, I reckon.
Awesome. So are there rules, I guess, for the purposes of me and James wanting to play this game?
Yes, so there are rules. So if we turn to this page here, then it starts by setting out some propositions. So that seems to be the kind of point of the game. And I mean, you guys are the mathematicians, so I will let you work out exactly what you're doing in terms of what it means. But it starts off by setting up kind of different propositions. So what it says here, we have some new cakes are nice, no new cakes are nice, all new cakes are nice. And that seems to be the introduction to what's going on. But what's actually far more interesting is this little diagram here, which is what the board itself looks like, which I can get out for you in a minute. And what you seem to have to do is place the counters, which again, we can have a little look at, into the board using this kind of system that's outlined here.
So you're like given a proposition, and then we have to use our mathematician's logic to work out what does it mean and place the counter appropriately.
Exactly.
Okay.
That's my interpretation of it.
Yeah. We'll do some studying. You know, we will read up on this and we will try our best to explain our interpretation. But it sounds fun.
Yes, and the really lovely thing is at the back here. I'll turn that over for you. Is you can see the actual board game. So that's what you would use to play. That's how you place it on the counters.
Are we allowed to use that?
Yes.
Fancy. This is cool. So we're just gonna casually play with a 150-year-old game board. Okay, I'm not sure I want to. That sounds a little bit terrifying. Okay, no, I do.
Let's find out. Let's learn.
Preface. The game requires 9 counters, 4 of one colour and 5 of another.
Okay, let's do this.
It says, say 4 red and 5 grey. Well, we don't have red and grey. Sorry, Charles.
But for colourblind people, we do, because we've got green and blue.
Right. Okay. Besides the 9 counters, it also requires 1 player at least. Well, we have 2. Okay. It's quite hard to read. I'm not aware of any game that could be played with less than this number. He's a comedian, is our Charles. Okay, fine. At the same time, though, 1 player is enough. Okay, great. A second advantage possessed by this game is that besides an endless source of amusement, it will give the players less instruction as well. Okay. Right, is that all we need? Is that it for the preface? That is the preface. Okay, he spent an entire page telling us that we need 1 player.
Okay.
Minimum. Okay.
Well, we've passed that.
Yes, propositions. Here we go.
Okay.
This is the page we were just looking at, wasn't it?
Nota bene.
Okay, so I think the outer square represents like all apples.
Apples. We're talking Venn diagrams.
Yeah, pretty much, I think.
Okay.
I think. Okay, and let us suppose all the red ones are to be put in the upper half marked X.
Red apples.
Good, yeah, and it's about saying the lower half means non-red apples. Right, thus the lower half will contain yellow, blue, and other coloured apples. Fabulous. Now, let us also suppose all the ripe apples be put on the left-hand half.
Okay.
So X means red, Y means ripe. Okay, and obviously unripe means on the right. Okay, and now what kind of apples would you expect to find in compartment number 5? Well, what's 5 got to do with anything? Where does 5 come from? Is that the statement? I think that's our statement, isn't it? So
was it labelled 5, the statement?
Let's have a
Like
look.
an
Let's see.
academic thing would do.
Probably is, isn't it?
It's not labelled 5.
It's not labelled 5.
Right?
I think it is 5, though. It would make sense, wouldn't it? So let's see now. It should be red apple during concern at present with the upper half. Okay, so is it giving us, like, the answer? We find it marked like this, 1, 0. That is, with a red counter in number 5. I mean, it keeps calling these things 5, but I'm really confused. Does that mean top left?
Why do you think 5 means top left?
I have no idea.
Why?
Because it talks about top left and he keeps mentioning 5.
What's it? This word? Syllogism. So I know, probably didn't pronounce that right. I'm not classically educated, but I do know that this is going back to the Greeks.
Okay.
So this is like classic logic. This is Aristotle logic. This is, horses have 4 legs. Adam is a horse, therefore Adam has 4 legs. Right?
Yes, I think that's how I also understand the game works. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
So totally 2,000-year-old classic Greek logic. Right.
Some red apples are unwholesome.
Unwholesome.
Well,
he's quite judgmental about red apples.
No ripe apples are unwholesome. So how do we draw a conclusion from those two? Because I think this is where perhaps the actual game comes from.
Right, so there's going to be more than one statement.
And you have to work out what the conclusion you can draw is.
Yeah.
So maybe we're working together, actually. Maybe we're actually working together to try and solve these
Let's try and start by working together.
Okay. So, in order to express them with counters, we divide the apples into 3 different ways with regard to redness, ripeness, and wholesomeness. Agreed. Yes, we must use the larger diagram. Okay, so he suggests X means red. So everything up here is red.
Yep.
In our universe of apples.
Yep.
I think the black box is now just apples because there's 3 things to represent here.
Okay.
So maybe this means this is M and then outside means not M. Possibly.
Yeah. Inside is M, this is not M, yeah.
Okay.
You really should have an M dash somewhere.
You really should. For this, we must use the larger diagram. Okay. X to mean red, Y to mean ripe, and M to mean wholesome.
Yeah.
Okay, so before I look at the answer, let's see if we can figure this out.
Yeah. So what are the 2 statements we're doing?
Some red apples are unwholesome.
Right, so some red apples. So red was up here.
Means we're in X. Yes, agreed.
And the whole thing was apple, so it was just here.
Yep.
So red apples are up here.
M means wholesome.
So unwholesome would be outside.
So
here and here.
Yes. And it doesn't say anything about ripe.
So yeah, let's do it.
So in theory, we could have red, so it said some red ones could be ripe and unwholesome. You could also have, that's unripe. Y prime would mean unripe, they're red, and they are unwholesome. This would mean...
I reckon some red apples are unwholesome. Some of them are wholesome. So I reckon maybe it's that.
So there's 4. I think all 4 of these would work.
Ah.
I think, right? Because any of the red things, we're not learning anything. We know that some of them are unwholesome and some of them are wholesome.
Right.
And we don't know anything about ripeness at this point.
And then?
We just know that the 4 red are filled.
Yes.
But we also know, now this is important, isn't it? If they are ripe, so if we have a Y, None of...
We've learned so much about ripe and unripe apples.
How could you have a wholesome apple? No ripe apples are unwholesome.
So,
if
no
we have
ripe apples. So these are the ripe ones, and none of these ripe
we can't
ones
have that.
are
Can't
unwholesome.
have that, can we?
Yeah.
Yeah, we can't have that. They have to be. If they are ripe, they have to be wholesome.
Okay.
So we can learn this.
That felt like we went through
The two things.
the two
Now,
things.
let's see what Charles says. Or Lewis.
Turn the virtual page.
He's going to go on for a long time. Okay, so we have 0 on the outside, yes. 0 on the... We've got those empty. He's got a 1 up here, yes. He's doing it like compartment by compartment here.
He's got one on...
Is that it?
He's got one on that's the inside square.
That is the inside square. It says the result is this. Is that the... And so our conclusion is some x are y prime. Some x are y prime. But then why can't we have that one? So yeah, he's got like 1 and 1, I think. But then why can't we have that one on the inside there?
So that is wholesome, red, and ripe. And does that contradict what he was trying to tell us?
I don't think it does contradict.
Some red apples are unwholesome, but some are wholesome. No ripe apples.
Unless we are not able to conclude, just because some are unwholesome doesn't necessarily imply that the set of wholesome apples is non-empty.
Yeah, sure. What?
Yeah, I confused myself. So we know for sure that there is at least one red apple that is unwholesome. Some red
apples are unwholesome. Yeah.
But I think, if I've understood correctly based on his answer, he's saying that doesn't necessarily mean that we have an example of a red one that is wholesome.
Yeah, okay.
We can't conclude that. We know that maybe all of the ones we have seen are red and are unwholesome, but we have yet to see an example of something that's red and wholesome. So I think that's why that one, we can't conclude that something exists in that set. It's possible within the rules, it doesn't contradict them.
Yeah.
So I think some kind of, we're to interpret some as meaning this is true, but we don't know that the other one is.
So we've been told that's the answer. We're going to now reverse engineer why.
Yes.
That's the answer.
And potentially learn the rules.
Yeah. Do you have time for us to do our own maths to see why that's true?
Yeah.
I want to draw a Venn diagram.
Let's draw a Venn diagram.
Okay.
Let's draw a Venn diagram.
So we're going to do a Venn diagram.
Yeah.
Right. This is the world of apples.
Okay. Yeah.
I'm sick of the world of apples right now. And we've got 3 properties, right? We've got redness, wholesomeness, and ripeness. So I think it's a classic 3-circle Venn diagram. That's where I'm going with this.
Yep.
So,
and we can draw on this one, unlike the extremely old game board.
Oh, I'm glad you told me that now. Right.
Yeah.
So, redness, wholesomeness.
I'm never going to look at an apple the same way again.
So wholesome.
So wholesome.
And ripeness. Right. Now, let's look at his statements.
So the whole thing is the universe. Okay, so we could have something here.
This is
non-red, wholesome, non-wholesome, non-red, non-ripe apples. Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Okay, yeah.
So we've got maybe we can need counters. Some red apples are unwholesome. So some red apples, red.
Yep.
Some red apples are unwholesome. So they're red, but they're outside wholesome, which could be here.
No, that's not red. They have to be in red.
There you go.
But they can't be in those two. So we can't have those two, but we don't know yet which of these are true.
And no ripe apples are unwholesome.
Yeah, I agree. And you're left with that.
Yeah. But is that
what we had? I don't even know anymore. What did we have on the... What did we have?
We had 2 counters, remember?
We did. We had this one up here, and then we had this one, didn't we? Yeah, so we were saying
redness.
Yep. Redness, both unwholesome and wholesome.
Right. Red. Look at this again. Let's have a look.
Yeah, okay.
So some red apples are unwholesome, which is everything outside.
Of wholesome.
Yes.
Like we
But
know
still-
that is true,
but
yes.
they're still red.
And so just to clarify the earlier point, I think when we were doing the game of logic board before the Venn diagram, we were then assuming that there would also be points here because it says some, not all, right?
Yep.
But I suppose I think we're interpreting the word some does not necessarily tell us that there are things here. It tells us that we definitely know there are things
Okay.
there. Yeah, I'm with you on that.
And no ripe apples, this is the world of ripe, are unwholesome.
So if you're ripe,
So-
you have to be wholesome. So we can't have that. No, I agree with you.
So it should be that.
Which suggests
But I feel like this
things
is
that
Venn
are
diagram.
red. Yeah, so that suggests we're definitely in the top half, but we can't be ripe. We're in unripe, yes, but we can't have wholesome. Oh, but I think that was his answer, you know?
Is that his answer?
I think that might be his answer. That seems to be his answer, yeah.
Aha!
Yeah, it seems to be his answer. Our conclusion is some x are y prime. Yeah.
So it is. So it's Venn diagrams,
It
but
is
not
Venn
in the way I
diagrams,
recognise
but
it.
just not in any way drawn as the correct way.
Which is fine, yeah, which is good. You know, teaching Venn diagrams in a different way. I have
Yeah,
no
yeah,
problem
yeah.
with that. That's fine, great. Now I can get my head around
So we
it a
need
bit
to
more.
draw. We basically need to draw Venn diagrams, and then copy our counters over.
Possibly.
Is how we're going to make sense of this.
So
Yeah, 'cause
are we sure his answer is the
that's
same
his
as
answer.
ours?
His answer is some red apples are unripe. That's that.
Some red apples are
unripe.
unripe
That's what he's got there. That's what that
and
box tells us.
unwholesome. He doesn't say that though. Okay,
No.
he doesn't care about that.
No, he's not going to sell. But no, but that's what this one is. This is some x are y prime.
Okay.
We're definitely in the x half, and we're in the y prime
Okay.
half. But we can't say anything about wholesome, which fits in the Venn diagram.
Well, it's outside the M. This is the M prime, isn't it? This outer.
Yeah, so I think we have no information on the inside one. I think is the.
We got it. We got it. We know it.
Yeah, kind
Just
of. All right, well, let's try.
I don't know why we need 9 counters, but maybe we'll find out why we need 9
Yes,
counters.
let's try a few of the other
Maybe he
propositions then.
intends us to do what we did
And we're going to need Venn diagrams
and
as well.
eliminate.
We're definitely going to need Venn diagrams. Okay, right, so let's find a proposition
Right.
and see if we can figure it out.
Okay. So, shall we reveal that we've been here for half an hour?
We have, yeah.
And we reckon it's Venn diagrams,
Yes.
which is lovely, right? A game with Venn diagrams, love it, wonderful.
Yeah.
I mean, it did take us half an hour to work. 2 mathematicians took us half an hour to work that out, but no
I
matter.
blame Charles. Terrible instructions, Charles.
So, shall we do an example from the book now that we think we've got a handle on it? We might try it with classic Venn diagrams and use his
Yeah.
game board and just show where it would be on a classic Venn diagram and where it would be on his game board.
Yeah.
Just to sort of translate the language of it.
Yeah.
Okay, all right, let's do that.
Make sure we're happy, and then we'll try a couple of.
Yeah, and then
Ones without
then,
answers.
then we'll do it. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, all
Let's do one more work example for us.
Okay, next one in the book. All dragons are uncanny. All Scotchmen are canny.
Scotchman? Where
Scotchman.
do they live? In Scotland?
I do not know what a Scotchman is. It could well be a person that drinks scotch, for all I know.
Okay.
Possibly.
Great, wonderful. Let's
go
say
there.
it's that. So all dragons are
Uncanny.
uncanny. All
So it's whether
Scotchmen-
you are a dragon, whether you are a Scotchman, whatever that means, and whether you are canny. I think
Cool.
you're 3.
Cool. 3 properties.
Triple Venn diagram.
Let's do it. All right. I think I'm scared of accidentally drawing on this with a felt tip pen.
Keep to that half.
Okay. Okay.
You got this.
Okay. Right. So classic 3-circle Venn diagram, and we have 3 properties.
Dragon, Scotchman, canny.
Okay.
They're your 3. I believe.
Just before, because before it was world of apples. Do we have a universe?
I think it's just the general universe.
Okay.
Yeah, we must take as our universe some class of things which will include dragons and Scotchmen, shall we say animals.
Okay.
So it's the universe of animals.
All right. I mean,
Charles's words.
yes. 1873?
Yeah,
okay.
1873.
Right, okay, so it's the world of animals. Now I'm a bit happier. Okay, so we have dragons.
Yeah.
We have Scotchmen. Men who love Scotch and
Yeah.
Scotch eggs. And
Canny or not?
canny or not.
Canny is the adjective.
Right, so let's do the propositions and we have counters and we'll work it through.
Yeah. So the propositions are: all dragons are uncanny.
So all dragons, which is this world,
Yep.
are
you-
uncanny.
Cannot possibly be canny, so those can't be canny.
Right.
But you cannot be canny though, right?
Shall we do this simultaneously on the game board?
Yes, I like it. But we can't be those two, right? Because that would mean you're a dragon and you're canny.
Ah,
So it has to just be those two.
right. Yep.
Right, definitely within dragon.
And
Okay, so which one's going to be which then now?
What does he say, by the way?
Yes, we should probably just check what he's going to do. Okay. M stand for canny, X for dragons, and Y for Scotchmen.
So this is. Shall I write M?
Yes,
equals
that
M?
would be helpful. Yeah, I think we need to
M
keep
is
track
canny.
of this. Yeah, Y for Scotchmen, and X is dragons. Okay, brilliant. So we think if you are X, you could be Y, but you're definitely not M. So I think in that case you're those two.
Right. So
You're a dragon,
dragon, but you're not canny.
so you can't be inside that box because inside that box means you're canny.
Right.
Yeah,
Okay.
I think that's the first statement.
Okay. And the second statement was
All Scotchmen are canny,
all Scotchmen, which is this world,
so you can't be in there,
are canny.
and you can't be that one.
Which is uncanny. So you take one away.
So we take that one away, and then we're left with those two inside there. So
And in this world, Y is Scotchmen.
yeah, so if you are Y, you have to be canny. So that has to be removed. Can't have that one, can we? Which just leaves us with that.
Shouldn't we have the same? 3?
Should we have 3? Ooh.
Yep.
Because all Scotchmen are canny, so that means if we are Y, we have to be inside here, regardless of whether or not you're a dragon. A Scotchman and a dragon!
Scottish dragon.
Yeah.
I hope.
So I think that matches. We have the same number of counters.
Yeah, that's what I'm hoping for.
To me, it makes logical sense. Now, I wonder what the conclusion's meant to be, because I feel like maybe this is the conclusion that we've discovered something new. Because these two just represent sort of, these don't talk about dragons, do they? You know, in a sense.
Right.
I'm wondering whether those two are just telling us if you're in Y, you're also M. That's just the second statement. But I feel like
The
this one,
intersection, yeah.
that's maybe the interesting statement that we've deduced.
Right.
Because we originally had all dragons are uncanny, but now we also know you cannot be Scotch and dragon.
We took something away, which is more interesting than just putting things down.
I think so. I think so. Our conclusion is that if you are X, you have to be Y prime. So, as in, if you're a dragon, you cannot be a Scottish dragon. We can't have Scottish dragons. I think is the conclusion. Okay, are you happy with that?
Yeah, sure. That's what the Venn diagram says.
What?
The final result is.
It's not though, is it?
Well, we've got one,
where he doesn't.
and that's so we've got 2 what he's got, and we've got one that he doesn't have.
Yeah.
Now,
Why can? Okay, well let's see. Does he argue why that's not there? He does argue. Okay, so he's claiming on the larger diagram first, no X are M. So no X are M. So he removes that one because dragons. You can't be a dragon and canny. Oh, we did know that. Oh, we made a mistake. We knew that.
Oh, okay.
Because we added that one in without realising you couldn't be a dragon uncanny.
There was another one to take away that shouldn't have been there.
Yeah.
Wow. So this is a game for teenagers, you said?
Apparently, according to Charles himself, this is a game for teenagers to play.
No, so that makes absolutely sense. Okay, fair enough.
Note to selves, do statement 1, do statement 2, check statement 1 still holds. Right, because that's what we made the mistake there. We added new ones for statement 2 without realising we'd contradicted statement 1.
Is this the reason he's got 2 colours or something?
Maybe.
So you do one statement with one colour, you do the other statement with the other, and then maybe something...
See. I think they're meant to be 1 and 0 are the colours, but I like Venn diagram versus logic book. Okay, we're going to get the next one right? This is it now.
Okay.
This is...
Third time lucky?
This is... If we don't get this, we clearly need to work on our logic.
What's the consequences? No consequences whatsoever, I hope.
Well, apart from embarrassing ourselves to the world of YouTube.
Oh, well, I've done that before.
Do you want to try one of those?
No, I don't. We need to get past any board.
We need to just find anyone that gives us an actual answer. Oh, come on. It's not obvious which one's which because it's...
Well, they're numbered, so
I know, but then if you go back to the actual... So it says crooked answers. So if I find the chapter called Crooked, possibly. Chapter 3, Crooked Answers.
No, I think he's just being funny because he's Lewis Carroll. He's cross questions and crooked answers. It's a thing.
Oh, okay,
it's
right.
probably a thing in 1873.
I see.
Don't get the joke. I think it's meant to be a joke. I'm sure we can get an academic in to explain the joke to us.
Okay, because there's lots of really nice ones here.
Yeah, I think it's cross questions, crooked answers, and that's meant to be amusing.
I see.
I know you're holding it in right now.
Yeah, I am. No old rabbits are greedy.
Right, so, we need some rabbits.
We need rabbits. And all black, so we need... Is the rabbit old, is it black, and is it greedy?
Old, black, greedy. So it's the world of rabbits.
The world of rabbits, yeah. Getting good at this.
Old, black,
and greedy.
And greedy. Okay.
So, no old rabbits are greedy. So if you're old, you cannot be greedy.
I shot myself. This is some for you.
If you're old, you cannot be greedy. So if we're in the old section, we could be there and we could be there, but we could not be those two. I think.
I will ask you to read that again, Parson.
No old rabbits are greedy.
No old rabbits are greedy. That's true. And where would that go on here? Do we have X's and Y's?
We have to decide how to take them, I think.
I think
they are questions. No, they are questions. Oh, no, sorry. It tells us here. Fabulous. Taking rabbits is the universe. M is greedy. Okay, yeah, let's write these down. I'm glad it... Didn't even realise it gives us these ones. M is greedy, X is old, and Y is black.
X is old.
Yeah. And Y is black.
Y is black. Okay. So, I want you to do it in green on the board.
So, if we are definitely old.
Are you talking about you and me?
Yeah. Yeah. We are definitely old, but we cannot be greedy. So we can, if we're in old, which is X, we cannot be in M. So I feel like it means, at the moment, it means we could be Y or we could not be Y. Yeah.
Okay.
I think that's correct.
Second statement.
All black rabbits are greedy.
So these are black rabbits, and all the black rabbits
have to be
greedy. But they can't be in here because there was something in there before.
Yeah,
so we can't
add it in because it wasn't allowed. And this one actually...
And this thing was
that can't be there because it's not greedy.
So that gets taken away as well.
So black and greedy has to be true. Yeah. Yeah, I think so.
Yeah? And what does that look like on the game board?
So this means all black rabbits are greedy. So if we are Y, we must be M. So you can't be up there, you actually have to be in there. I think that's right then. So that's now saying if you are Y, you are M. Oh, but you're also X. Oh, we're not all of them, are we? Oh, God, no.
Now, we can't be in there because anything in X couldn't be inside there. So it meant you had to be that one, I think.
Well, does that correspond with what we've written here?
That's why I'm checking.
So we've got the intersection of M and Y is filled.
Yeah, that would be that one. Yes.
The intersection of... And then, no intersection.
No intersection, just purely X and not Y and not M. Yeah, that's that one.
Is there something that intersects all three on this board?
Yes, you could be X and Y and M. You'd be that one.
Oh, right.
Because there are 8 regions in your Venn diagram, right?
Right.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There are 7 regions on your
And
Venn
then-
diagram. And then the outside.
And then the outside.
Which would be not M, not Y. Yes, that would be there. Not M, not M.
Okay.
So the 8 regions.
So it does translate.
It's literally just Venn diagrams. You spotted it really early, actually. Well done. Good work.
Yeah. It is.
Well, is this correct?
But it's done in such a... It's a different way, so it did involve some translation. Because
Yeah.
I can see it in my head, and I think intersection of 3 properties is that, because I'm so
Yeah.
used to seeing that. And no properties, having none of X, Y, and M, it would be outside.
Yes.
So used to seeing that, but it's not what it looks like on this board. But there's no reason why that's wrong, or it's just different. There's
Yeah.
nothing wrong with what he's done there. But do we have the answer now that we've learned how to translate
Crooked answers.
our thinking into his diagrams?
It's number 13. I'm sorry, what?
So what does blank mean? Because he's got blanks as well as zeros and ones.
I think blank means we don't know, I want to say. I think the 0 means it definitely isn't possible. And blank means we don't know. Maybe that's why we need 2 different counters. Because it's like some things we know are impossible, they become
Was
zeros.
Was it the things we took away?
They're the impossible things, and the others are like blank means we actually can't deduce any information
Okay.
about them.
So
There's a new rule that we've just discovered.
I mean, I'm sure this could have all been sorted out if we maybe read the book.
Or, if Charles had done a better job of explaining the rules.
Oh, it's Charles's fault.
It's like 8 pages of jokes about one-player games. I just want to know the rules, Charles. Okay.
Well, what we've made our own game because
We have made our own game.
We're deducing the rules, and that's just a game in itself.
Yeah.
So you're saying the things that we've took away is what he's calling zeros.
I think so, yeah. Yeah.
Because
we cannot happen.
Didn't we have things?
Because we had 4 initially, and then we removed 3 of them. Yeah, so we would have 3 zeros on our diagram. He's got 4, but we're still missing that 1. We still seem to think this is a 1, whereas he says it's unknown.
Oh, in that case, we've got a completely different answer entirely then.
Yeah, we have a different answer. Why? No X are M. Yes. Anything in X cannot be an M. I agree. All Y are M. So anything in Y has to be M. Yeah. No, I agree with that. But then why does that mean that? That means we have all Y are M, yes, and no X's are M's.
I think he might be. I feel like he's missing a 1.
I
here.
think he's missing a 1.
I'm going to blame this on a typo because that no X or M is that a quadrant, whatever we're calling it, and no Y or M is that quadrant.
No.
Are you saying that, i.e., this picture?
No X or M means those 2 up there.
Mm-hmm.
Means if you have an X, it can't be inside.
Yeah. But all Y are M. Therefore, that gets taken away.
Yeah, removes that one. Yeah. So I think he is. I agree. I think he's missing it.
At the moment, we're claiming the book is wrong.
We can't possibly be wrong. It must be the book.
So come on, we've got to find another example. We've got to suss this. Okay.
Yes.
4th go at this.
Who's keeping score?
The game is now just deducing the rules.
Yes.
For the record, I'll have it known, I am the sort of person who does read the instructions. Give me a flat pack and I'll sit and read the instructions. Right? Give me a game. Tom, he's just diving in here.
pretty much. You learn it by doing it.
Well, we are.
It's the applied mathematician versus the pure mathematician coming out, isn't it? I'm like, I learn by playing with the equations, and you're like, I want to know my definitions.
I'll sit and learn the rules first. Call me crazy. Right, okay, so possibly we may have deducted the rules. Fourth time we're going to put it to a test. Go on, pick an example for us.
Taking birds as the universe.
Okay. Birds.
M means they sing loud. X means they are well fed. And Y means they are happy.
Okay.
Right?
Sure.
All well-fed birds sing loudly.
Let's start with that. So, all well-fed birds sing loud. That sounds like an easy one.
If you are X means well-fed, then as a result, you sing loud. And singing loud is M. So if you are X, you must be M.
Okay.
But also the one next to it as well, because we don't know anything about Y versus Y prime.
So, okay.
All of them. So whether or not they are Y or Y prime, whether or not they are well-fed, whether or not they are happy, they sing loud. Mm-hmm. Right, because it says all. Very specifically says all.
I'm very happy with that. And no birds
that sing loud are unhappy. Oh, Christ. So if they sing... Okay.
So no birds
that sing loud. So we definitely have singing loud. So M. We definitely have M.
M was singing loud.
But you cannot be... You have to be happy if you're M. Right? No birds that sing loud can be unhappy. So Y prime, if you're inside the box, you cannot be Y prime.
Okay.
Because that would mean unhappy, because happy is Y.
So you're taking that away.
I think we're taking that away.
Which by the way, I think...
means we add that
we change
thing
the colour
to it. Yeah.
And you think there's no other conclusions?
Anything else we can draw to it? So, no birds that sing loud. So they have to sing loud. So if they are inside M, then they have to be happy. So it could be possible to have something here, but is that necessarily the conclusion we can take from it? I don't think we can be sure that that's true. Right? Because we're saying, think of the Venn diagram, take everything that sings loudly. We're saying if you sing loudly, you have to be Y. So you could have something here, I suppose. And this is where I think I'm unsure on the rules. I don't know whether we're meant to say, it is plausible to be here. This doesn't contradict any of those two statements.
So this is what I think it is. If we we learnt statement 1 was that.
Was that, yeah.
Now, ignore statement 1, and we'll just do statement 2.
Okay, yeah.
Which is, no well-fed birds failed...
Sorry. No birds that sing loud.
I can't see the
unhappy.
board. I can't see the laptop. So say it again.
No birds that sing loud are unhappy.
No birds that sing loud. And so which is which?
We have to sing loud. M is sing loud.
M is sing loud.
So we're inside here.
Yeah.
In a sense. And we're doing this as number 2, right? So in a sense, have you got a fourth?
Yeah, so birds that sing loud.
These are all the birds that sing loud. But then it's saying, if you sing loud, it's not possible to be unhappy, which are those two.
Right. So this is what I'm thinking. Statement 1 is those two.
Statement 2
is those two.
Yeah.
And because we've taken those away...
We didn't take that one away. We added that for statement 2. So what did we have? We had that. Mm-hmm. And then we said statement 2 was that. So the only overlap... But then this one is impossible, according to statement 2. But that one is still possible, according to statement 1. Because in statement 1, we didn't have any information about X prime.
Right, I see the difference.
I think.
Right.
So this one is like impossible. So let's say green means impossible. Blue means has to be true. And then this one is like a maybe.
Which you think is blank?
Which I think might be
So there are 3 symbols in this game.
Yeah, I think maybe that's blank. And
now
everything else we can't see anything.
Now we have to look.
Yeah. So I think that's definite. Okay. I think that top left is definitely a 1. Top right is definitely 0. And I'm not sure about bottom left. I think it could be a 1 or it could be blank.
Right. And this is just purely still deducing the rules.
This is still deducing the rules.
Right. And now we will find out.
This is number 15. Yeah, right. 1, and then they've got other zeros. Okay, so that one is indeed blank because we've got no information. So we missed zeros. They have zeros up here.
Oh, I have no idea why they've got zeros there.
Because I think a 0 means it's like impossible. Like it's fully impossible. So the idea is that maybe at the beginning, if we go back to the question, we were saying, if you are X, which was, I can't even remember, it was saying if you are X, you have to be M. So that means those two are impossible at the beginning.
And so we keep those.
And we keep those as impossible ones. And then from the second one, we learnt that these two were possible, but we can't put anything, that these two were, we can't have that one now from the second statement. And we also couldn't have this one from the second statement. Yeah, that was it. That was it.
Thank you. We deduced the rules. I'll tell you, 1 hour. 1 hour we deduced the rules.
1 hour to deduce the rules.
And now I understand. I think I understand as well also.
As you're going to get. As well.
No, I
I
think I understand.
You have to think about impossibility.
Yeah.
I think the mistake we were making was we were just putting counters down
In the possible
ones, but the game is, that's why you need the two colours. You have to note down impossible, and then things you can't deduce anything about, you leave as blank.
Okay. Yeah. So I want to do one more of his examples.
Okay. Yeah.
And by the way, I think this is a nice game.
Oh, this is a great game.
I'm not against this game at all.
Yeah, no, this is really fun. It's just, there feels like there needs to be a clear, here are the rules written out with lots of worked examples.
I feel like more modern rules would be pithier.
Yes, to avoid confusion.
Yeah, and I don't know if that's just what we're used to. And if you were a teenager in 1873, you'd go, yeah, sure, get it. Charles, love it. Yeah, so maybe there's a translation to be done because it's 150.
It's 151 years old, yeah. Yeah. All right.
So I want to see one more, and then we are on the same page.
So these are yeses. These are yeses. These are nos. Okay. Right. Taking persons as the universe.
Yeah, I like it.
M means in the house.
Sorry. Okay. Who's in the house?
Who's in the house? X means John.
John's in the house.
Potentially. And Y means having a toothache.
Okay, all right. Now, the problem that I struggled with last time is remembering what X, M's and Y's are, which could be more friendly, as a game could be done more friendly, because you have to translate these into X's and Y's and things. Thank you, that helps. That helps me see it. Thank you.
John is in the house.
Right.
So M means in the house.
X is John, and
John is in the house.
And M is the house.
So if you are John, you have to be M. Mm-hmm. And now we have to think about what's impossible.
Yeah.
So it's the top two. Because if you are X, you cannot be John and not being in the house. That's not true. Right?
Okay, so John, yes, I agree, which is all the top half of the board.
Is John.
In the house.
In there.
But not those.
And we can't deduce anything about otherwise.
Yes. Right. Second statement.
Everybody in the house is suffering from toothache.
So everybody in the house, this is the house.
Yep. Has toothache. So if you're inside M, you have to be Y.
Okay.
Whether you are John or not. So that has to be true.
But the impossible ones.
That's impossible. Because you have to be on that side. Mm-hmm. And we don't know about, you could be outside the house and have toothache. We don't know. Mm-hmm. Or not have toothache. But if you're in the house, you have to. And so that's also impossible.
Yeah, I was feeling there was another counter that we were missing. Yeah.
Right. That feels like it is to me. We flip one of the first ones. Mm. Yeah. So those two have to be true, and they're not.
I feel with practice, you'd do this really quickly as well. I feel like two counters automatically cancel each other out. Yes. And you'd learn that, which we're not learning at the moment.
Okay. So this is number 17. Let's check. Is this going to be our first correct answer? This is.
Oh, yeah.
I think it might be, I'm feeling more confident about this than any of the others. Oh, wait, that's the answer. Oh, why have we got it wrong? Why have we got it wrong?
And we've got a blank here.
We've got one extra blue that we shouldn't have.
Why is that?
Because we've said, oh, not John. You're in the
Yes.
house.
That was a not John.
That's a not John that was in the house. But we don't know that. We don't know that there's anyone else in the house. We weren't told there was anyone in the house. Oh, that's cheeky. Okay, yeah, we may have jumped the gun on throwing that extra one in.
Okay.
Yeah. So, yeah.
6th time's a charm?
Will we ever get one correct is the question. Put your answers of how much longer you think it'll take us right in the comments. How much longer will it be before we get a correct one? Ay, ay, ay. Right. This is the one. No, I think we've got it now. I think, okay.
And I've heard things like this before, like, all sheep are black, therefore there's one black sheep in this field. That I've heard these things before.
Yeah. Okay. Taking persons as the universe, M equals I, X equals has taken a walk, Y equals feels better.
Okay, so persons, M is I, X is
Taken a walk. Yep.
Y
Feels
feels
better.
better. Okay, walk, better,
Inside is I. Yep. I have been out for a walk.
See, I've already forgotten. X is walk, I have been for a walk.
Yeah. So I've been for a walk and we do not know.
But not I
Yes.
have been for a walk.
Yeah, it's not possible to be. I know I is this one. I is M. So I think the impossible
Yeah.
ones are here, aren't they?
I felt wrong
yeah.
when I did that.
Yeah. The impossible ones are there because if it is us, we have definitely been for walks. We have to be in the top half, and it's impossible that we haven't. Yeah.
Yep. And I feel much better. I want to just do that second statement as if it's by itself.
Yeah.
So I feel better. So this is me, I feel better.
Yeah.
And this is, and it's impossible that I do not feel better.
Yes.
And I just have the feeling that if there's one green, at least one green, that is a green field.
Yeah. Yeah. Because green means impossible. Yeah.
So I'm feeling like if there's at least one green, it becomes a green.
It becomes
field.
a green. I completely agree.
Do you completely agree? You hear that?
I agree. And then it doesn't matter. 2 blues means obviously that's great, and then that's a 0 because it's 2 greens, so it's 0 on both. I think I'm happy.
Yeah, and this must translate to some sort of or statement, right?
Yeah. Yeah. There's ands and ors. Yeah, I'm sure.
Right.
Okay. I think this is it. I'm going to be confident. I think this is 7th, 6th. This is the one. This is correct, I think. Let's see. Yes. We did it. Can we high five?
Wow.
We got there. 1
Well,
0
we
0
deserved it.
0.
We earned it, right?
We did earn it. Okay.
Cool. We did it. I'm feeling a bit shocked, but we did it. Yeah. No, we understand the rules. Great.
Okay.
And I personally, I could see that it was overlapping counters. I felt like
That was nice, actually.
I could see a thing.
Let's do that, and then, yeah, that's going to be the way to do it. Okay. Right.
Well,
Now we know how it works. Should we do a what?
well, the thing is, now the last thing here is invites you to do one of your own. And are we feeling confident that we know?
No, I don't think we're at that stage. We can go to the non-elementary ones. Or is that as a final hurrah? Okay, this will be proof. We have got, if we get a non-elementary question correct, we can, I think we figured it out.
I didn't realise we were doing the elementary questions.
We were doing the elementary questions. Yeah.
So if the universe is making a video, and if X is it's getting late, if M is I, and Y is getting hungry.
It's getting late, and I also agree I'm getting hungry, yes. There's a second one about John and his toothache.
Okay, so
let's go back. I was annoyed we got that one wrong, so let's go back and conquer John and his toothache.
Yeah, I'm well up for it.
All right, okay.
I'm here for it, yeah.
Okay, number 18, that's the one. So, we're back with M being in the house, which is nice because it's inside versus outside. So we are in the house or we're out the house.
Yes.
X is John.
John.
Top half.
Yeah.
Y is, do we have a toothache?
Toothache.
There is no one in the house but John. Poor.
There is no one in the house but John. I'm struggle to understand that one. No one in the house.
So if you're in the house, you have to be John.
Yeah.
It's impossible. I think it means it's impossible to be in the house and be not John.
Right.
And so therefore two
Yep.
blues, right?
If you're in the house, you are John. Okay.
I think that's correct. If you're in the house, you are John. So it's different to the one we did last time. 'Cause last time it was John is in the house, but we didn't know whether there were other people. But now we know with absolute certainty being in the house means you are John.
Okay. And so nobody out of the house has a toothache. So nobody outside the house has a toothache. So
So if
it's
you're out the
impossible
house-
to be outside the house with a toothache. And that's
Could you be
all-
outside the house and not have a toothache? Yeah. Yeah. But we don't know you definitely do. Yeah. Yeah.
But we don't know, so that's blank.
Yeah, I think that's it.
Yeah, but we've had no overlapping.
We've had no overlapping statements.
Which I don't feel good about having no overlapping statements. But do you think that's true?
I think we look.
Okay.
What?
So 0, 0, 0. Hang on. So 0, 0, 0, 0. So it's just these should have been taken away.
They should be unknown.
It's just these blues.
No one is in the house but John.
Mm.
But it doesn't. So that means we don't know if John is in the house. We just know that you can't be. Oh,
Is that true?
That's so. Nobody is in the house but John.
Right.
To me, that implies that John is in the house, but apparently it means it doesn't imply.
Yeah.
That's like a language thing.
I don't know if it is a language thing, and I wonder if I did it in Venn diagram language one more time,
It might make
we
more
might
sense.
which I might want to have a look at. But I think we should say I like this game. We haven't completely sussed this game, I feel.
No, not even
But
remotely.
I think I do like this game.
Yeah. No, this is a fun game. I agree. Yeah.
I just it would take us some time to get hang of it, which we've discovered, which we've shown empirically.
Yes.
But even so, I find that an entertaining game. I think if I sat down and just absorbed it a bit more,
Yeah.
I think I would enjoy playing those. I could see this, and I bet it exists already. There's probably like an app that is the same game.
If there isn't, we'll
Right.
take like a 20% royalty.
But, I feel like there's
Yeah.
something like this, almost exactly the same,
Yeah.
that already exists, and I bet it's fun.
Yeah. Agreed. You don't all need a 150-year-old game board.
With maybe better instructions.
It definitely needs better
Maybe with
instructions,
reading
yes.
the instructions. And I'm looking at you,
We
Tom.
learnt it. We learnt it my way. We tried reading the instructions. They were rubbish. We've discussed that. So I feel like we learnt it by playing.
We did.
But we
We did. And I think just as like a postscript, like a little bit at the end, I think we should just check what a traditional Venn diagram would look like, because
All right,
I
go on
want to
then.
see it. I want
Okay.
to see it. Okay, what is the question?
We've got M is in the house.
Oh, right.
So we need to label everything, don't we?
Yeah. I think
House.
I had M there traditionally. M was in the house.
Yeah.
I'm writing in house.
X is John, being John.
Just johnning about.
And Y is having a toothache. So
Y
toothache.
equals tooth.
Yeah? Toothache. Okay, and then the first statement is, there is no one in the house but John.
So there is no one in the house
Yep,
but
John.
John.
So
So
that's,
in the house.
so that suggests those two are impossible. It's impossible to be in the house and not to be John. Mm-hmm. Right, so it's definitely that.
No one
But
in the
then
house.
we thought it meant those two have to
But-
be true.
No one in the house but John.
But we don't know that John is in the house. We're backwards. Obviously, we're backwards engineering from the answer. But
Yeah, I think it's the same language problem. as
it's a
before.
language problem. I think it's a language problem for this one.
I'm sure people who have studied logic
Philosophical logic people. you
more
will-
deeply
yes.
than we have will
Yeah,
go,
yeah, yeah.
we know what that means.
Yeah.
So it's impossible to be not John and in the house.
Yep.
Yeah, okay.
I think it's a language thing again. I think it is a language
I'm coming to
thing.
the same place you are. Yeah.
None of
Where
our
it-
answer
where it
was
felt
actually
like that.
incorrect, right? We didn't have any counters wrong. We just thought John was in the house,
had
whereas
that.
the answer was saying we didn't know that. So we didn't do anything wrong with our answer. We just seemed to get a
that-
slightly firmer
Is
conclusion.
there something in that word "but" that we don't understand?
Yeah. Maybe we're interpreting it in like a
different way.
linguistic English way,
Yeah,
as
it's-
opposed to a logical.
It's probably the same with
Way.
the word "or" because
Yeah.
there's like inclusive and exclusive "or."
Yeah.
It's that word "but" doing something we don't understand. Okay, and nobody out of the house. So people outside the house
Cannot have a toothache.
have no one outside house has a toothache. So there's no one here.
It's impossible. Yeah, it's impossible to be there. Yeah, so again, that's what we had, but the answer is that.
Okay, if you say so, Charles.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it.
Yes. Thank you, Charles, for even though we disagree with many of your answers, like that other one where you definitely was a typo, nothing that we did wrong. the evidence might suggest otherwise, the data set. But thank you, Charles. Thank you, James, for joining me.
Yep.
It
Thank
has
you.
been genuinely
No, I
good
loved
fun.
it. No, I loved it. I feel like I want to revisit this game, perhaps in my own time.
Yeah.
When I'm not being filmed for YouTube.
Yeah. That can actually enjoy it. So no, thank you, James. Do check out Singing Banana if you haven't already. James's YouTube channel.
If you want to.
Yeah, you should. And also, something else you should do, it'd be very nice, is if you could subscribe to my channel. That would also be great, particularly if you've enjoyed this conversation and would like more conversations between myself and James doing things of a random nature.
If you are a YouTube viewer and you have enjoyed this video, then subscribe.
There you go. Right, see you all later.